Hello, everyone. Welcome back. Now, Kim and I want to start off these recordings having introduced ourselves with something that we feel very passionately about, and that's the feminine. We are women, of course, but so many women can find themselves in a masculine energy, which sometimes might be necessary to do what we have to do, to be women
Mhm.
doing. However, keep that on for too long and it's not terribly healthy or fun. I like being feminine. And so we both realized we just watched the Jennifer Lopez film, Office Romance, and we
Yeah.
absolutely loved it. And it's about a woman who's the CEO of a company that used to be her father's. And the actor who plays her father was the policeman in Miami Vice, the Mexican guy.
Yes.
Anyway, I digress. And this man comes to her company as a lawyer. Without going into too much detail, she eventually, because she's attracted to him and he's very attracted to her, and eventually um, she lets her feminine side in and they just go for it. And it's just the most delightful film. So, does that relate with anyone that they've been in their masculine energy and actually that has deflected, uh, if they've wanted it, real love coming into their lives? Um,
Mhm.
and I think that's, being in your feminine. It's time for women. Our time is now, not just on my side, Kim's side, your side. There's a global element of shifting into female energy. I'm not going to say power. Patriarchy, masculinity, they are just being gently, hopefully, pushed to a little one side by female energy, which is nurturing, which is compassionate, which is empathetic. So, Kim, how do you feel about that?
So I love that. I know when you and I met originally, like a year ago, just met online because Susie's in the UK, I'm in Ontario, Canada, so we've not actually physically met. But we discussed how we both, at different times of our lives, found ourselves as single mothers, right? And so through marriage changes and things like that, as you were just talking, I was thinking like different stages of my life, I had to be the man. Like I had to step into that,
Absolutely. Yeah,
right? I had to be the mom and the dad, and then
absolutely. Yeah.
and sometimes I feel as you were talking, like I think what happens to women, especially if you have had to be a single mom, like fulfilling those roles, it's hard to step out of that,
Mm.
when you're in a position of business, which I've been in, where I've had to, be more in control. And I found it very difficult, to tell you the truth. Like I did not want to be a boss, but I had to step into that.
Mm.
And being a single mom, having to be a dad, like there's all these role reversals that I think we've seen more of,
Yes.
right?
Yeah. I
So,
think more
yeah.
because and rightfully so, more women are coming into roles, or whether they're entrepreneurs or whether they're stepping into powerful roles in a company or corporation. And in fact, I've got a podcast with a wonderful woman coming on next week, and she became the CEO of a massive steel company with a turnover of about $260 million a year. And on her
Wow.
first day, actually, no, I won't tell the story because that's going to be on the podcast, but
Yeah.
the challenges she had as a woman in that role
Hmm.
were awesome. Well, they perhaps they weren't awesome, they were beggared belief. She now has a business and she is passionate about getting more women on boards. And if only corporations realized it, every company would be so much better off in every way, especially financially, if there was a balance of male and female gender on boards in the decision-making
Yeah.
process. So
Yeah.
anyway, we're not. I've never been corporate. I don't want to talk too much about corporate, but it does fascinate me. And what I love is about the fact that women have been through things and then they find a passion in order to make good things happen.
Mhm.
I would just also want to
So
know,
women have a voice. We have a
yeah,
different voice, right?
yeah, yeah, we have a very different voice. And yes, we are in the olden prehistoric days. We were the nurturers, and men were the providers. And is that our limbic brain? And that's very hard sometimes to reconcile with how things are now. And I regret that with things having been shifting to a certain degree and women becoming more powerful within ourselves and in some areas, that men have been feeling emasculated because I think
Mhm.
that's not what we wanted. The real meaning of feminism doesn't mean putting men down or disrespecting or
No.
disliking men. Men can be feminists too. And so I do just want to say something. Kim and I did our recording for this is talking about being feminine, um, for introducing this new podcast series, which we hope will go on forever because neither of us have any inclination of retiring, even though we're in our 60s. And we decided that we would do it raw and real and just be our authentic selves. So we're not wearing any makeup. And we decided that we'd just keep on recording. So you won't see me like this for very often, or Kim, she'll have her lipstick on because we love that. And in a way, with Kim, a lipstick is a very important element in her story. And if you look at, I'll put the link in for my podcasts, where Kim appears sometimes strong, grounded, unstoppable. You will see where it all began for her. Anyway,
Mhm.
to bring us back to the now, what is also very interesting for me, we're talking about the feminine and being feminine, is that to me, uh, because I feel I have quite a fair face, a blank canvas. But I got pink cheeks. That's fine. But I love to put makeup on. For me, it's
Mhm.
part of getting dressed. And so if I'm doing something, you'll find me with makeup on. But the interesting thing is, and the number of men I know who prefer their women without makeup, it's almost all of them. And
Yeah.
I find that very lovely, actually, as well. On the other side, I've also seen and read about women who set their alarm for 4 in the morning so that they can lock themselves in the bathroom and go and put their makeup on before, or take their makeup off and put a fresh lot on before their husband wakes up because they cannot bear for their husband to see them without makeup. And I feel that's desperately sad because what does that say about both her and
Mhm.
him,
Mhm.
and the
Mhm.
way she believes that he feels about her. So I think
Mhm.
that's another important one to talk about one day. Do you know there are thousands upon thousands of things that we can talk about, aren't there, Kim?
Yeah. And interesting on the makeup end of things. You and I talked about that obviously at that other podcast, but I started out like working for Elizabeth Arden. So makeup was my life for quite a few years.
Mhm.
And I left that industry to open a health food store, which, when you think about it, I went from like, high heels and skirts and makeup,
Yeah.
everything, and then a health food store is like real and raw, right? Like so, but I
Mm.
made makeup for quite a few years because I felt not as extreme as that, but I felt that it was part of me, right?
Part of your
But
grooming.
it's
There's
a hard thing to, yeah,
it's a hard
yeah,
thing to open the door to the postman with no
yes,
makeup on when you're not
yes,
ready for it. And there was a time when I wasn't ready for that. But
yep,
because I love makeup, I'm not
yep,
not wearing it for anybody. And I'm hoping that we use it to enhance what we already have. We don't
yes,
use it to mask who we are. And there's a big, big difference in that. Um,
yeah,
so I'd
yeah.
love to know your thoughts on makeup and wearing makeup, and we'll run. we talked about being feminine, being in our feminine energy. There's all sorts, we covered a few little things or big things, the global feminine movement, which includes wearing makeup or choosing not to, however you feel about it. Um, we wanted these podcasts to be short, sharp, and sweet, didn't we? So we
Yeah,
didn't want to
yeah,
sort of drone on. We just wanted to dip in and let you come back to us and say, oh, can we talk more about that? Or can we hear more about that? Or I'd like to join the conversation and come on with you because this is all inclusive, women. Um, and to remind you, there may be some expletives sometimes. It is unfiltered, and there may be some things that might be hard to talk about. Obviously, being on YouTube, it's going to be out there in the public domain. So there's something that you wanted to hear about or be heard about, but not appear, then message us and,
yeah.
get back to you and we can go into that topic. We've got so many experts on our side, and the other thing is that these are, oh, that is my partner, Decline. I'm so sorry, he's in Italy at the moment. Well,
Oh, wow.
it's real and raw.
Yeah,
And we wanted to keep this a safe space, but yeah, we wanted you to come to us because it's authentic.
yeah,
We are not, yeah, we're not coaches because we've not learned it from a book. That's not disrespecting coaches. There are an awful lot of fabulous people out there, but we are mentors and we have qualifications, but we're in the lived experience domain. That's what we
yeah.
love. And I think if you've lived it, then you can really converse about it. Kim,
You
anything?
know what I would like to say too, Susie, I see you and I as like, I guess, I don't know, the many different words, a conduit or a connector, or whatever, because we have so many experiences in our past of things that we can bring to the table. So as women want more things to talk, they want to hear. And I loved how you said, like, maybe there's women out there that would like to have a voice, but don't want to be the voice,
Mm,
right?
mm.
So I think that's where we can help women have a voice and they don't necessarily have to be the voice until they're ready.
Kim, I love that. And it reminds me of I was or receiving some training by a friend who was quite a well-known actress in this country. And she would speak about projecting into the void, because that's what
Yes,
we have to do. But she also told me, because it was at a time when I was gathering together the anthologies that I published, the two books, Women of Spirit, of women's stories. And she said to me, Susie, if you have a voice, you have a duty to use it. And I
true.
found that so powerful. So bless you, Kim.
Yeah, so true.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You. I think we'll leave it there and we'll be back again very soon. Take care,
absolutely.
everybody. Don't forget, we want to build a community from this. And so please like and subscribe and let's get this thing really rolling. Let's get the
All right.
party
Thank you so
started.
much.
Take care.
Yep. Bye, everybody.
Bye bye.